It is 1 o'clock. Good afternoon. I'm Lucas Panzica. Free agent wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins is signing with the Tennessee Titans. The news first reported by Doug Kayed of A to Z Sports. Ian Rappaport with the contract details. 2 years, $26 million, up to $32 million with incentives. SEC Media Day starting today at the Grand Hyatt here in Nashville, 104.5 The Zone, broadcasting live on location. LSU, Missouri, and Texas A&M. The schools represented today. Some SEC news today. Vanderbilt putting it out on social media that head coach Clark Lee is receiving an extension. The exact details of the contract not yet public. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Let's do this. Blaine and Mickey, 104.5 The Zone. Good to have the crew back together, man. It's a little vacation time last week. I could use a vacation from my vacation. So here's what I thought I'd do. I just spend all week downtown at SEC Media Days. I'll take a vacation in downtown Nashville. And
tell us what you did. You got to do, man. What'd you do? What you and the fam do, man? Look like y'all were in London.
Man, we weren't in London, but we went everywhere else.
Okay.
We were,
it looked like that, huh?
Driving all over creation. So a little beach time, a little travel time, a little family time. So
sightseeing time.
A little sightseeing. We got to do a little bit of everything,
you
man.
hit it all in, man, before we hit this deal running, man. So right now, that's what it feels like. Yeah. I've been here for a little bit. I didn't know you was in there with your best buddy Brian Kelly, because y'all were trying to, learn how to, still talk in that Southern accent.
Well, I don't have any problem with that. He does.
Yeah. That's why I said you were helping him out, because it kind of left him, and I'm wondering when it's coming back.
Yeah, he made a joke about that. He said, well, my accent depends on if I'm in southern Louisiana or northern Louisiana.
Oh,
so everybody kind of laughed nervously about that.
Oh, man.
But it's funny. Brian Kelly speaking now. He's the first coach to address the big room with all the media. And yes, I realize DeAndre Hopkins signed a contract. We'll get to that.
Who?
The guy called D-Hop. There's Jesse
okay.
Simonton running around here. We got to track that guy down this week, Mr. On-3 personality.
No doubt.
The SEC media world is here. But he was asked about his culture. Brian Kelly goes, well, the crossroads for us last year was when Tennessee just beat the crap out of us. And he said, I could have lost the team. He said that could have sent us either way.
Yeah, naturally, we watched it. Yeah, and they put a beat down. But what I can say is, I want to say, he shouldn't have went for it on fourth down a lot of the times he went. He went for it a lot in the game. I only know it because I watched the Tennessee game, and I was like, man, I think he shouldn't have done that. And then it kind of backfired because he could have stayed in the game. And that's not to say they were going to still, win the game or anything like that, but it would have gave him better shots. So then he had to come back and double down and go for it again. And this time it was at least in the red zone. He did the first time they were on their side of the field. It might have been like the 40.
And it's like, is he really going to do this?
I was like, no way.
Yeah.
And he was playing like he had nothing to lose, like his team wasn't very good or something. Yep. That's how he was. I'm like, man, this is different. Man, I've never seen this form of Kelly as a coach. So it was kind of interesting. And then Tennessee got some breaks. They fumbled, punt returns and everything else. Then they took off, and they couldn't say got some big plays, and it was pretty much over. But one thing you got to see in that game was the fight. LSU kept fighting in that game. They believed that they could compete and actually win it. The play the way they were playing all the way to the end. So yeah, that was pretty unique. But yeah, Tennessee was up and rolling. They had some special team snafus, and Tennessee recovered the ball like on the 30 fumble recovery. I mean, they had a lot of different things go their way. So that was pretty cool. Yeah, that's Drink right there. Yeah, that's your best buddy, huh?
That's my guy.
Yeah, that's your guy. I see, man. I was trying to figure out who's taller.
I think he's taller than me.
Like I'm so tall, but I didn't realize he was that short, though, to be honest.
Eli Drinkwitz, yeah,
How tall
man.
is he? He's 5'2"? 5'2"?
No, 5'2". I don't know.
I'm just kidding, man. But it was funny. He walks by, and he points at Mickey like, hey, I got you. That's my guy.
Hey, man, the Arkansas State bond is strong. That dude,
So he was there. What years he was there?
He was there 2012 and 2013.
As the OC, or was he the
He
wasn't the head
was
coach,
running backs and special teams with Gus Malzahn, if I'm not mistaken. And then the next year he essentially took over the offense for Brian Harsin and saved the season.
Ah, got you, man.
Because
Arkansas State,
he was
building,
familiar.
head coaches.
Well, I mean, Tom Allen and Hugh Freeze were there in 2011. Allen's at your IU now.
Oh, yeah, right,
He was on Freeze's staff.
Oh, wow.
Then the next year, Drinkwitz was on Malzahn's staff, so there's 2 more. And then the next year was Brian Harsin, who I know you can't speak his name aloud here without people throwing a tomato at you or something, because it didn't go well for him in the SEC. But a really successful coach in his life up until that time. But,
he's
a lot of
at
head
the beach
coaches
right now, just relaxed, collecting that, guaranteed contract that he got from Auburn.
That dude went back to Boise, I think, and got his old house back and is just living a dream. And his son's a great quarterback.
Where's he at?
He is still in high school.
Oh, okay.
So I think this is his senior year. Because when he was little, my daughter was little, they kind of liked each other.
Oh, so they had to crush on
Brian
each other.
Harson's son of my daughter. So,
man, you taught your daughter well to go after the quarterback.
That's right. Well, I didn't even teach her that. She just did it.
That catches me by surprise, Mickey, man. I'm a little shocked, man.
I didn't teach her anything.
You didn't tell her to get, crush on the corners or safeties or anything like that, huh? The quarterback. Go for the gusto, right?
Well, I said, bass players and journalists, those are the guys that you need to go. The real men out there, like Dad. DeAndre Hopkins, I don't know if he can play bass or if he's a journalist, but he lands here. Are you surprised he didn't wait a little longer, or was this about the right time?
No, I thought he was going to wait a little bit longer, to be honest. I was a little surprised. I actually didn't believe it. It's funny. It's because of who it came from, my wife.
Oh.
Did you know the Titans signed DeAndre? I said, no, I'm just still recovering from Beyonce concert. What are you talking about? What? You sure? Because, she's not paying attention to sports. So it was just like funny. She's like, no, it's all over. I'm pretty sure that's what it said. And I said, let me go check it. Boom, there it was. And then I was like, well, how much did they sign it for? How long? And that, I was, where I was at. I was like, I wouldn't go over $10 million. I think they're more at like the 12, 13 with incentives.
Yep.
There, right, Kirby? Somewhere there about. So it's probably about right with the market. I'm always start low, but it's got to be exciting for the Titans brass as well as the fan base to get him. I didn't want Julio Jones as much as he's a Hall of Fame player, but I did want DeAndre Hopkins because of his game and his style of play. It carries, but I don't know if he'll be able to get some of those incentives. They're supposed to be likely to be earned type incentives. I've had contracts like that, and I just don't know if we're going to throw enough. So not knowing a lot about Tim Kelly and how he wants to, operate as a coordinator and play calling. But, if you look at his stats, I know a lot of people keep saying his stats there at the Arizona Cardinals. They throw way more than the Titans. So the stats, I don't think it's going to correlate. He may get some of them, I guess, catches. If he gets 65, I'm probably think he's somewhere between 65 and 75. Okay, how many did NWI have last year? He didn't miss a game, right? He was kind of quasi 2, 3.
40-something, I think.
Right, so it'll be interesting. I think we're going to throw a little bit more. I think it's still going to be 50-50, but I think it's going to be different type of throws. When I say that, different type of offense, and it's going to feel like they throw more, but probably not. So he may get 75 of those 75 catches. If he gets 850 yards, 500K. So it's tiered 4, 6, 8, 10 touchdowns. So cool. If he produces and they throw, he gets to pick up some of that moolah. Here's what happens when you get a veteran player like him, and let's say this. And I don't know DeAndre Hopkins. I don't know D-Hop. They're not winning. And then all of a sudden, they take him out of the game, and then he doesn't receive his incentives if he's on the field because he knows he's going to get some targets. Typically, he gets, 10 targets a game?
His career average is like 10 targets a game.
If he gets 10 targets a game here with the Titans, I'll be stunned. I mean, seriously. So I don't think he's going to get 10 targets a game. So he's a volume catcher. So I just don't know. And sometimes when you go to, you may only get 5 targets. Now you're not in rhythm, and if they don't throw to you till, let's say, second quarter, how does he feel about that? You got a veteran guy who's a Hall of Fame type caliber player who's still producing. Where does he get a little testy? Because sometimes those elite A personalities, that's why they are so good. But then that can backfire on them when they say, hey, man, y'all need to throw me the ball. I'm open. I'm always open. So I'm interested to see when that part happens. And then he's like, hey, you messing with my moolah. They not throwing to me. I'm supposed to be able to get these. So that'll be something to watch. But it should be great. Now the offensive receiver core and group now is much more respectable. And I'm going to say this. Everybody's saying, D-Hop is number 1 and Burks is 1B. I look at it like this. They're both 1. And at some point, one is going to be 1A and one's going to be 1B each and every game. So it should make both job easier. And if you're an elite receiver like D-Hop, I think at this point of his career, he always wants someone on the other side that can garner some attention. So I'm excited about it. I don't know how many more wins it will produce for the Titans. I would assume that it's going to at least give them 1. But I looked at Vegas. It didn't change.
Didn't budge, did it?
It didn't move at all. What did it say, 7.5?
7.5 before, 7.5 after.
So I'm going to go 8. It's for sure they're going to get 8. And I would assume they're going to win 8 to 9 games anyway. So I don't buy into the Vegas, and I think they're going to win 8 to 9 before D-Hop, and I think they're going to get 10 with D-Hop. I think he's going to give them one more. My man Roman, what's up, man? Roman Hart, man. So safety, man. We played in the same scheme with Greg Williams, so he definitely knows what.
Him with the in New Orleans, he's got a big piece of hardware he's got to be wearing on his hands.
Yeah, he got a Super Bowl. Yeah, he got a Super Bowl ring. He just came over to us. So. Yeah, so this is it's going to be unique. It's exciting, though. I'm glad he's going to be here in training camp. But I didn't, if I was a vet and I know the offense, they probably gave him some ultimatum. This is our last offer. Yeah. Either take it now here in the next couple of days, or we're going to move on. And so maybe that was part of it. And, hey, cool, he's here. Hopefully he'll be happy and get some ball and get some timing down with Tannehill, and it'll be off to the races. Now I feel like all the receivers are aligned at the position.
They're in their right spot.
Yes.
Oh, that's the first thing I thought of.
Like everybody always like,
balance.
Why are you always hard on NWI? No, it's not NWI's fault.
Right.
But they're trying to make him into something that he's not. They're trying to make him into a 1 or a 2 like that. He's not that. Now, is he a great 3 and can he be a 2 at times? Yes. But I just feel like now him as a 3, and then you got Phillips. So now the depth looks perfect. If somebody gets down, if you got to go 1 or 2 games with somebody out, I think it's great. So that's the part. The wide receiver room is upgraded. And you get instant respect when you get on the football field because Hopkins is out there. Seriously, no doubt. Hey, I've been a former player. It's no different if T.O. they sign, or some guys like that, and I go, hey, we got to be on our best because this guy's legit no matter if we're doubling him or not. He can embarrass you. And that's what D-Hop can do. He can embarrass you.
Well, we're about to find out what he can do. We continue. We got all the contract incentives. We can give you those. But the big news that broke yesterday, I was watching a Cardinals game on TV, and I just looked at Twitter, and I saw all these responses, like people just losing their mind. And I thought, what is this about? Oh, there you go. I was about 10 minutes behind D-Hop.
Were you excited?
Yeah, I was excited. I'm at this point, I
was excited for the Titans. I'm always wanting them to do well, but I thought this was a good signing. Long as they didn't, man, I thought they were going to get up in the 18 and say, I was like, oh, my. Oh, do not do that.
Well, I was excited because they had to do something. That couldn't be your plan going into the year, the receiver group that they had. I felt like they truly needed to do something. And Mike Vrabel had said, because we talked about it, we can sign players all the way up to camp. We can –
Well, there wasn't a lot of guys out there.
There wasn't a lot of guys out there, but this guy became available, and they eventually got him.
Well, I know you're a mathematician. How are they working this with the cap? You're a capologist. Like, how did this happen? Like, they only had $8 million, right, or so?
8.3.
So what happened? They gave him a lot up front?
Well, I'll tell you, Spot Track has kind of put this out. And here comes Drink. Let's take a break. We can get to that more. But Eli Drinkwitz may be able to grab him, the head coach of Missouri, old buddy of mine.
Oh, I think is he going over? Oh, he's just taking pictures.
Yeah, we'll take a break. We'll come back. Hopefully, we have the coach of the Missouri Tigers next. Eli Drinkwitz, Blaine and Mickey, live from SEC Media Days.
Oh, I know. I can't get that open. I can get that open for you. No, I don't do that.
Lake lovers, it is time for you to listen up. Man, maybe you've hit the lake a little bit this summer. Maybe you just dreamed about it. Well, here's your chance. Highly anticipated lakefront resort golf marina community releasing never before limited number of lake lots to the public. It's a one-day deal only. You know how this goes. Saturday, July 29th, experience lake living at a fraction of the price. They got wooded estate lots from $64.9, sunset waterfront lots $20K off, Lake Villa packages from $349.9. Golf cart access to a marina and a resort and walking trails and shoreline, and there's a huge clubhouse, and you can play pickleball there, and they have concerts. Everything you ever dreamed about life on the lake, playing on the water or just relaxing at the restaurant. It's all about 20 minutes from Knoxville, Tennessee. They even have financing available. So do this. Call to secure your private appointment. Times are limited. Life on the water, fresh air, boat ride, sunshine. Celebrate the lake life. Make memories of this limited property release. Saturday, July 29th. You can go to lakelivingtn.com or call now. Make an appointment to see these fantastic places. 865-408-9992. Time to invest in something real. Blaine and Mickey, 104.5 The Zone, live from SEC Media Days, downtown Nashville, man, right down the street. Ding Dong of the Week. Normally that's what we drop this time. Eli Drinkwitz, Missouri head coach, at the table next door, is supposed to stop by in just a minute, so maybe we can kind of hold our ding dongs for just a little bit in this segment.
Yeah, that's
here.
what she said.
Yeah, till we get ready. Till we get ready to do Ding Dong of the Week. We were talking about DeAndre Hopkins signing with the Titans. You said, how in the world are they going to make this work cap hit-wise?
Yeah, that's good. I'm trying to interested. Nobody's talking about that. No recontracts redone. Did they give it upfront money and all that, or no?
The only guy that I found who said this is the way I think that they could do it is Spot Track. Giannetti, he put this out last night. Apparently he cooked this up some time ago. He's got a $2 million base salary, and he said this is just a potential scenario. He put down a $2 million base salary. Oh, here we go. We'll put this off.
We'll put this on hold
we got
for Mickey's best friend here.
We got the most
Eli,
exciting man in the SEC here. What's up, buddy? Good to see you.
What's going on, Blaine, Eli, man? Pleasure meeting you, man. Yeah, got you.
All right, let's talk.
We're going to talk some ball.
Let's talk some Hopkins. Didn't we sign Hopkins to the Nashville?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, I think he likes your shoes, though.
Yeah.
I see you up there, man, with the
I can't remember. Are we the Tennessee Titans or the Nashville Titans?
Oh, no, Tennessee Titans. Come on, man.
I'm just kidding. Jeez.
Yeah. Come on. I know you know. I know you're just not in that box of just college football. I know
I'm not. No.
Yeah, so tell us about your good times. Give us a story about Mickey there back at Arkansas State. You know,
Mickey,
he is Mr. Arkansas State. As you know,
Mr. Arkansas State. I'm surprised he's not talking to Ryan Applin instead of me.
The legend.
I think probably the most memorable moment I have. We beat Middle Tennessee to win the Sun Belt Championship, and Mickey is on stage with Ryan Applin, Gus, and our linebacker number 40,
Nate
Harold. And I every time I see that, I always see Mickey's grin up there, man.
I wish he would have said something crazy like we brought a can of to win this game.
Now, I mean, Mickey was probably there when we got our butts kicked by Oregon. We were down 50 to nothing at halftime too. I mean, you were there through the ups and downs, and really probably pretty proud of where that place is now. I mean, you look at the facilities, the tradition. I know Coach Jones is going to get that thing turned around, but boy, we're off subject here a little bit.
Yeah, no, this is all good. A person we never get to see behind the curtain of Mickey Ryan.
Here's the best story I got. Okay, all right, here, y'all will break it down. So Hugh Freeze was there the previous year, and he, in order to raise money, I mean, he didn't have no money. So Hugh did a fantasy football camp, and he charged like $3,000 to come. So they gave us a list of all the people that came. And the coaches divided up. We're supposed to call people. So I called Mickey because I thought, man, Mickey has money if he's paying $3,000 to come to fantasy camp. So I called Mickey. I'm like, hey, Mickey, we'd love to invite you again to fantasy camp. You know, I said, but we're going to raise the price to $3,500. Mickey goes, hey, Coach, I was only there to act like I was doing interviews and stuff. Hugh didn't actually make me pay. And I said, well, I got to take that to the boss because that's a Gus Malzahn call on whether or not we let scholarship people come to fantasy camp.
Yeah, I got scallied up, man, because media
scallied
coverage. I was the media sponsor for fantasy camp.
Yeah.
That was when Tom Allen – I was telling Blaine all the people from Arkansas State – from those couple 3 years who all became head coaches.
You got Tom Allen, you got obviously Hugh, you got myself, you got Rhett Lashley, you got Gus.
I didn't think about Rhett.
You got Brian Harson, obviously Blake Anderson. I think Blake Baker, who's with me now, is going to be a head coach here pretty soon. Casey Woods is going to have an opportunity to be a head coach here pretty soon. So, it was a heck of a job. Gus used to tell us all the time, this is going to be the best staff I've ever put together. And I was like, yeah, he didn't think that after. Hey, listen to this. So we're playing Memphis. We're playing Memphis. All right, Gus first hires me as the director of operations.
Okay.
But he can't find anybody to take the job as a special teams coordinator for $50,000. So he moves me to the special teams coordinator. We're playing Memphis. Okay, we give up a block punt for a touchdown, and we muff a punt for a touchdown. We still win the game. He calls me in. He was mad at me. Wouldn't talk to me after the game. Calls me and said, if you don't get this fixed, I'm going to have to let you go. I go, Gus, what do you want me to do? I don't know what we're doing.
I can't go play for him.
What'd you expect, buddy?
Man.
The first – okay, he's telling off on me.
Yeah.
So he gets hired. Here's this young guy. What, you had 2 years as a graduate
GA.
assistant as a GA, and mostly experience in high school. He's young.
Mm-hmm. So
they send me down. I'm with the radio station. I'm like, I'm going to go down and start interviewing some of these coaches. So I said, give me Eli. And they said, well, he goes by Eli. I said, okay, give me Eli Drinkwitz. So they tried him out. And I said, you don't remember this, but I'm going to get you. I said, all right, new special teams. Hey, man, I'm Mickey. I graduated from here. I've been around a while. And I said, let's just right out of the box here, man. What's your philosophy on special teams? You said, special teams make special plays. That was your answer. That's all you got.
That sounds like you, right?
Special teams. And so then I see this guy becomes like the most. Every time he says anything in front of a group now, people are like, oh, Eli Drinkwitz has said it again.
Yeah. Special
teams make special plays.
Teams make special plays. Yeah, I was swimming. You know why I said that? That was probably my
doggy paddler.
I probably got that from Houston Nutt. That was probably like a Houston Nut, like special teams make special plays, brother.
My. You didn't have the same delivery as Coach Nutt.
No, I didn't, but I had some of the same lines. His brother, Dickie Nutt, who used to be at Arkansas State, is an assistant at Mizzou now.
Yeah.
And so we're on the road speaking together, and, man, that dude brought back so many memories. I mean, he talks just like his brother. They both talk the same, and the one lines, the emphasis, it is such a beautiful deal watching those two guys.
Man. I watch you on SEC Network. Already great sense of humor on there and taking on questions and everything else. But I got to ask you some football questions, right?
It's about time.
Can't all be about Arkansas
we're trying
State,
to catch
Coach.
back up with Mickey. So it's pretty cool. But all right, how's your quarterback going to be? Who's going to be the quarterback?
Yeah, there's going to be one. We're going to play with them.
That's just like special teams. There's going to be one. You got like 5 of them, right?
We got a lot. We got a lot of guys.
Yeah.
No, Brady Cook started for us last year. Was injured in the spring. We brought in a transfer and Jake Garcia. We got a redshirt freshman, Sam Horn. Here's the unique thing. Those two guys actually played against each other in the 2020 state championship, Grayson versus Collins Hill.
Oh, in Atlanta,
in Atlanta. Jake got the best of him. Then next year, Collins Hill won the state championship. So those guys are great competitors. Brady's going to run out there first, but every job's open. And whoever – look, I had to step back from calling plays because we weren't getting it done. All right, so that means every job is open. Whoever gives us the best opportunity to score points, we got to be more explosive. We got to create more explosive plays by throwing the ball vertically down the field around outside of the numbers. And whoever consistently does that for us is going to be our starting quarterback. All 3 of our or really 4 of our 5 of our quarterbacks know that it's an open competition because that's our core value philosophy. Mm-hmm. Number one, always compete. Last year, Darius Robinson wasn't playing very good week 4. We benched him, and he was a captain. He didn't like it a bit. Oh. But you know what? There ain't no sacred cows in college football. It is about getting that win, and whoever the best players to do that are going to be the guys that play. And so whether that's the quarterback position or the defensive tackle position or the punting position, whoever the best player is going to be.
Mm-hmm. Well, one more to that point is, how hard is it when you're a head coach now and you were the offense or defensive play caller, which you were on the offensive side, to sit back and even though you're still going to be now more CEO, but you may call some plays here because you're the head coach.
I like to say suggest plays.
Okay, suggest plays, right.
But then I like
how
to
hard
remind,
is that, though?
Yeah, but I like to remind them, Gene Chizik used to say, I don't make suggestions. Yeah, I don't make suggestions. Okay. All right.
Well, you're the head coach.
Yeah,
what I say goes, right?
Yeah, that's one of my favorites.
Because it feels like that's a tough deal.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Obviously, there was a few games last year that Coach Hamden called plays, and I tried to do my best to stay out of it. But, if you see anything, we're all so collaborative in sports. But at the end of the day, the play caller's got to paint the picture that he wants to paint within the framework of what he sees the game as. And I try to be – I'm going to try to be more of just a here's what I see, here's some suggestions. But remember, I don't make suggestions.
We're on with Eli Drinkwitz, head coach of Missouri, of course.
So Kirby Moore is the guy that you brought in. So people think, why does that name sound familiar? Kellen Moore's brother, also a Boise guy, played football there and played really well.
Oh.
What does he do that you like? Why was he the guy that you said, here, you take the headset?
Number one, low ego, high output, very detail-oriented. Man, he's a grinder. He's got a note above his light switch that says sleep at home. because for the first 6 months of the job, that dude was sleeping in the office watching tape. Loves to grind, loves ball, loves to coach. Hasn't found a play yet that he doesn't like. I have to, hey, man, we can't put everything in, okay? But he's really, really adamant about studying. I got a text at like, I don't know, 1:35 in the morning from Kellen Moore during vacation. Said, hey, I'm here grinding some tape with my brother. I like this play. And I'm like, what are we doing, guys? I'm on vacation at the beach.
Oh, they love it.
But they love the ball, man. They love to coach football. And Kirby's got his own spin on it. He knows what he's trying to do. He's got a really good background. You know, he's been with Kalen DeBoer. He's been with Coach Tedford. He's been with Coach Pete. So he understands what it's supposed to look like. We have similar philosophies. And I'm just really excited about what he's going to do for us offensively. And last year made a tremendous hire with Blake Baker. Blake and I were at Arkansas State together with Mickey. He just needed a chance. And I believed in him, and he got buy-in and got that defense playing the right way. And I feel similar with Kirby. He's always kind of been in his brother's shadow. He needs somebody to say, no, it ain't no brother's shadow, man. This is your time, your opportunity, and he's going to take advantage of it. And he's surrounded by some great people on the offensive side of the ball. We got some really good players, so I can't wait for him to call some plays. And really, I'm more excited that he gets to call third downs, and I don't have to worry about it anymore.
You mentioned Blake. 8 starters returned. The defense 4th in the league last year. A lot of people called him a surprise. Obviously, you weren't surprised. You don't make suggestions. You're not surprised by
Hell, I was
by
surprised
success, are you?
all crap last year. I mean, holy cow. We went from worst to not first, but worst to a lot better.
Yeah.
Blake's just got an infectious personality and confidence in who he is and defensive style. He's got a little John Thompson in him as far as aggressiveness and willing to not sit back, to be attacking. And we got some really good players. I mean, goodness, we got 2 corners that have over 25 pass breakups and multiple interceptions. We got 2 safeties that have over 100 tackles. We return our Will and Mike linebacker that both have over 100 combined. They have 250 tackles and 10 sacks and 33 TFLs. I mean, we got some really good players, and now we just got to get better. We got to prove it again. And we got guys like Chris Abrams-Drain walking around. I mean, that's a good-looking cat, man.
Yeah. We'll talk a little bit about that. How much, as a head coach, do you concern yourself with the portal? I call it the TP. Yeah. It's like, oh, man. Oh, wait. Then
so here's the thing.
You try to part-time play some other guy that you say, well, this guy deserves a play, but he's just not quite good as the starter. How do you work? How do you do
here's
that?
the deal. Our job's to win football games, okay?
Yeah.
And there used to be a lot of different things about it, right? This is a year-to-year business. This is a year-to-year job. This is for everybody. Because in December, everybody has the opportunity to do whatever they want to do, and that's the new rules. So I'm not going to complain about it. I'm just going to embrace for what it is. Right. The very first thing you have to do is retain the players on your roster. This past year, we returned 18 returning starters. That's a tribute to our organizational success, the culture that we have, the relationships we have, the belief in that those guys are improving. We then went out and signed, 13 transfers. Then we went out and signed 18 high school players, and then we signed 2 junior college players. And what that did was build us a roster for this year. And so I don't worry about whether I get them from the transfer portal, from retention, from the high schools, whatever. Whoever's here on our roster right now has to contribute to this year's success for our football team, and everybody's got an opportunity to do that. And so that's just the new way of college football now, and I'm embracing it, not worried about what it used to be. This is what it is now, what it is moving forward.
Yeah, because you can't change it, right?
Right.
So how much is NIL in part of that process there in Missouri?
Ain't nobody playing for free.
See, that's what I said. Great person, man. Let's just keep it real, man.
Yeah, crud. It is what it is. It's a great thing for our student athletes who generate so much revenue for our universities and for so many businesses and so many things that occur because of them playing that sport. And now they reap the benefits of it. That's hats off to them, excited for them, want those guys to be responsible with those finances, but really excited. I mean, you look at the way my guys are dressed today. I mean, crud, there's more. They got more on in their shoe game than I do in my entire suit.
Shoe game's pretty good, though, man.
Yeah, but mine are comp. I got Nike money. I mean, these guys are out buying. I mean, there's some shoe called Off-White. I mean, I don't even know what that is, but Chris has got them. I mean, I got D-Rob's got 2 different color shoes on. I don't even know, but good for them. It's awesome for them, awesome for their families. And I think, we're talking about a 12-team playoff that's worth $1 billion. Absolutely, our student athletes deserve to receive some of that.
Oh man,
we got the wrap up signal from your team, so we're gonna let you go on to the next table.
Man, I wish I could stay here all day.
Oh,
man.
I know, man.
Me too.
Agrees with you,
Yeah,
man.
crud, yeah. Well, I appreciate it. Biggie, it's great to see you. Proud of all the success you've had.
And that
man.
goes both ways.
He's a heck of a musician too, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, I've gone out and watched him play. He still plays on the side.
Man, hey, that's what they say about me playing football too.
Thanks, Drake.
Hey, I know we're on the air. Tell your beautiful family I said hello,
I will,
please.
Mickey.
Yes,
yeah.
sir.
How's your family doing?
Everybody's good.
Getting big, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. His daughter playing the guitar too. She's a singer too.
She's a singer?
Yeah.
Hey, my girls went to Taylor Swift. They're going to be coming watching your daughter here soon.
Well, let's hope anyway.
Let's speak it into existence.
Yes, sir.
M-I-Z.
Thank you, Coach. Eli Drinkwitz, head football coach at Missouri. We're taking pictures live on the air. We'll do that. Good. I think I was talking during that one. It'll look good. Good to see you, Coach. We'll take a quick break. Let's do this. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back and keep the show rolling next live from SEC Media Days. Blaine and Mickey, 104.5 The Zone.
For many of you who have lived here a long time, you already know Eurofix has been in Middle Tennessee area for your European car repair needs now for 24 years. And we've all gotten to watch them grow. And I don't know about you, but I love watching a hometown business take off. Well, we're now proud to announce the 5th location in Mount Juliet for Eurofix on Mount Juliet Road, right across the street from Dairy Queen. And Eurofix can serve you in Franklin, Hundred Oaks, Murfreesboro, Belmead, and now Mount Juliet. Pretty cool getting to watch a small-town mechanic start in the barn in his backyard of a single-wide trailer and now grow to 5 locations repairing thousands of cars each month. And at Eurofix, you get a 3-year nationwide warranty and a free loaner car with every repair appointment. And all you have to do is just give them a call at 844-EUROFIX. That's right, 844-EUROFIX, or you can just visit them online at myEurofix.com. That's myEurofix.com. But always tell them Blaine sent you.
Blaine and Mickey, 104.5 The Zone, live from SEC Media Days in beautiful downtown Nashville. They got all of Broadway just torn up, man. If you're trying to come down here, because I know sometimes they do this. Well, I mean, if you've ever been to Hoover, Alabama, and you've seen it, it's in a mall, so you can just kind of go see everything you want to go see. It's hard to even get down here. Kirby had to be let through a police barricade at 3 o'clock this morning, and I got yelled at because I wasn't in a crosswalk. The whole street is blown up. And the guy accosted me because I said, really? I mean, it's like everything is blown up out here.
Well, see, the cop told me yesterday, he goes, hey, this morning, in the morning, just identify yourself, show him your credential. You'll cut right through. Well, the only officer on place was in the car sound asleep, and no one was letting me through there. I was like, I'm not supposed to climb over this thing. I'll just go around.
Jacob in Nashville wants to check in with us. By the way, there's a lot going on. We just had Missouri head coach Eli Drinkwitz stop by, and there's all of your favorite SEC reporters and personalities are filing by, and the Missouri players are making the rounds right now. DeAndre Hopkins signing with the Titans. That news breaking yesterday. Jacob in Nashville wants to join the discussion and talk about it right here on the Mark Spain Real Estate Hotline. Jacob, welcome into Blaine and Mickey. Thanks for calling.
No problem, guys. Thanks for having me on. Hey, I love this signing. I've spent, like you guys, the majority of DeAndre Hopkins' career watching him with the Houston Texans just torch the Titans 2 games a year in agonizing fashion. I think this is great for Rand Carthon, or a great signing here for him early in his tenure. And I know I'm going to throw out a lot of ifs here, but I want you guys to weigh in on this. If the line can give Tannehill time to throw, and this team doesn't get bit by the injury bug, you look at what they have at wide receiver, adding Hopkins. You know what they've got at running back. I think this team can do some damage. I like the juice that Hopkins brings to this season. He brings some instant, exciting play. He can move and twist in the air with the best of them. What do you guys think about bringing in Hopkins? Thank you.
Thanks for the call, Jacob.
Yeah, no doubt about it, man. It's going to be interesting because the King and Tannehill now with Hopkins and Burks and whoever else with Chig now are formidable on offense. What if the King and Tannehill have real good years? What do you do then?
Yeah.
What are you doing? 1 year since? Oh, no. Oh, man. Then you're just going to let Tannehill walk. Because it's kind of, man, that's a tough deal. Now, you already got drafted 2 quarterbacks, 1 in the second, 1 in the third round. At some point, you got to give them a shot. So that'll be kind of interesting because that's always tough because regardless, some guys play the same. I played the same whether it was contract year or not. But there's always a little extra edge for some guys. And he probably going to have a good year. Now he's got good weapons all over the place. I feel like it's a very formidable, respectable offense in this league. And then with the spin with Tim Kelly calling plays, we don't know what that's going to look like. But we saw a little bit of what that looked like in the Texans in 2019, Kirby, when he was the play caller there with Mills, and I think the year before that with Watson. So that offense looks great. We can say, oh, that was just with Watson. No, it was with Mills, who was a young quarterback and had not a lot of experience. So I would think Tannehill's somewhere in between of both of those guys, and he's going to be pretty solid. I guarantee you Tannehill is jacked up. And not just because he's going to be throwing to him all the time, because now he has 2 guys on the outside, and let's just say Chig, and then, my man Phillips in the slot, as you mentioned. Hey, man, and then the King back there. And then guess what? Everybody else falls in place, rotate in when those guys get there, and then now they can make those plays that they need to make, and now you're not asking them to be consistent starter players. You're asking them to be consistent rotational players, and I think that's the benefit that D-Hop brings to the Titans.
I've been holding on to this fantasy projections from CBS Sports. These dropped a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, really?
This is with no
a couple
Diop.
of weeks ago. This was without Diop. Okay.
I've been holding it. You know me. I like to hold things, and then you say something. I'm like, oh, I got an answer to that. I got to get on this. Yeah. It's our buddy Matt Hayes right there from Jacksonville.
What's going on, Matt?
Oh, he's got tunnel vision. He's going to do his next interview. These were Tannehill's projections. This is without DeAndre Hopkins. This was with all the other guys that we thought, well, they need another guy. 493 pass attempts, 3,695 yards, 25 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. Then they had him running for 190 yards and 2 touchdowns. That 36.95 would be the 5th best total in team history. 36.95 yards.
Ooh.
If he throws for the 5th best total in team history, and this is without D-Hop, what if that becomes 38 now?
Oh, it could get to 4.
Okay,
man.
There ain't no way in heck, man, that he's not your quarterback the next year.
I don't know. Yeah, because what are you doing? You going to let him sit one more year?
Jordan Love sat behind. I know we're talking about Hall of Famer.
But now you got to give him an extension.
Well, if you're Rand, you can say, I didn't draft Malik Willis. I had nothing to do with that. So whatever happens with him happens. If Will Levis sits for 2 years as a second-round pick, now if he's a first-round pick, then all bets are off.
Okay.
He's second-round pick.
Okay.
He's not costing you really anything.
Second-round pick, but he was what pick?
He's real early up
33?
there. Yeah, I think so. He was really early up there. But
he was up there.
But if Tannehill throws for 3,800 yards, which we don't see around here, I mean, we're 36.90.
I think he's got a great shot of getting it done. I really do with D-Hop. And I'm not just got the D-Hop. I think that opens up everything else, and then that means yardage. Doesn't matter who's catching it.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes you can put D-Hop in the slot, rotate around, motion Burks. You can use them in all kind of facets. I think both of those guys are interchangeable at this point in time. So until Burks proves that he can do it on a game in, stay healthy out. Oh man, it's gonna be nice. This is big. This is bigger to me than Julio Jones, even though Julio Jones theoretically, 5 years ago was probably a better talent. D-Hop's game travels, man, and he'll be able to do what he's doing right now. I think what he's going to do this year, he's got to be solid. I mean solid every game. I believe that because he's hard to stop. I mean, you got a guy my height trying to guard him. Half the time, 5'10", 5'11", what?
And Coach Mack always talks about combat catchers. He's the combatiest catcher of them all.
Man.
With those big mitts of his.
Oh, man. Those Mickey Mouse mitts.
Yep.
Yeah, man. This guy. So this is big. And then for him to decide that this is the best spot, and we can say, it's because of the money, what have you. I don't know. I think it was also the relationship, understanding the offense, and what's expected. I think what he brings to the table. So I'm hoping they get to that 10-win now because, Vegas is saying this is the same.
Yeah.
The Titans stay 7.5 wins. I'm stunned.
Isn't that funny, though?
7.5, man.
It didn't even
already win it. What did they have the Jaguars winning? How many games they're winning?
What were they, 8.5, 9.5?
Oh.
I don't think it was 10. 10's a pretty big number for NFL. The Patriots in their heyday were always predicted to win over 10. The Chiefs will always be predicted to win over 10. I bet nobody in the South has been projected to win 10 games in a Lord knows how long.
When the Patriots fans are pissed, but guess what I'm saying? If you're DeAndre Hopkins, why do you go to Patriots in the AFC East? What? You get Hop? I don't think that increases your chance of winning the AFC East. You come to the Titans, though, you got a great shot of winning the AFC South.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think the decision, if he's talking about winning and everything is about, to me, somewhat the ring and he can get the money, it was on. Once they raised when they say aggressive now, I think it was because they went up on incentives, maybe even on a contract. Because I kept saying, what does that mean?
Yep.
We don't know what that means. I don't know. I have no idea. I wasn't sitting in the room when they were negotiating with him and his agent.
I hardly looked at Twitter while I was gone. But one day I did look at Twitter, and there was a story, Jeremy Fowler, one of those guys that said the Titans have become more aggressive with their offer. And I thought, okay, they're ready to put this thing to bed.
Yeah, I didn't really know what that meant. To be honest, I don't know because I'm not there. It could have been like they've been calling, checking in on him.
Yeah.
All right, hey, man, what are you going to do? Hey, well, we want you to sign before training camp. We're going to give you one last offer.
Yeah.
And take it or leave it. And people don't realize that is how it goes down. Sometimes they say, hey, this is all we got. This is as far as we're going to go. We met you halfway. You got to meet us halfway. Nobody walks away like, yeah, this was my deal. Everybody has to have some concessions and give up something. And that's how negotiations work. Then you both walk away feeling, okay, I got a solid deal.
Oh, you know me. I worked in real estate for over a decade. Both sides need to feel like they won part of the deal. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's squeeze in one called John in Nashville. We're talking about Ryan Tannehill and D-Hop and the effects. Let's get John in Nashville real quick on the Mark Spain Real Estate Hotline. Hey, John, thanks for calling.
Hey guys. Good afternoon to you guys. I just want to
Yes,
say
sir.
one thing about Tannehill's situation. Like, if I'm Tannehill, and if I have any kind of doubt in myself from the 2020 thing with the Cincinnati Bengals, and I got D-Hop now, my confidence is through the roof. I've got, what I'm saying, he's got to be feeling real confident about himself that he's got a big, veteran core receiver. So that's what I have to say. Like, just Ryan Tannehill's going. He's probably feeling really good about himself right now. He's like, I got this awesome receiver that I can trust that can catch the ball. So I'm not as worried about those interceptions as much. That's all I got to say.
Blaine, I appreciate the phone call. Absolutely, his confidence has got to be high because behind him is Derrick Henry. And to wherever they're going to line up D-Hop, which maybe they'll be creative, who knows, wherever D-Hop lines up, it's a Hall of Famer.
Mm-hmm.
And Traylon Burks, if he could become a legitimate guy, because he's got all the physical tools, my gosh. And we all saw what Phillips did every day in practice last year. And, people got mad. I remember some guy said, y'all deceived us on Phillips. I said, no, I didn't. No. We watched him
Well, he did it in the Giants game, and then he kept getting
till he got hurt.
Right. See, then it became, a different deal. It was one thing or another, whether it was the shoulder or then the hamstring. And people were like, oh, man, he looked horrible. Well, he was trying to fight through an injury, and some guys just can't play, especially they had him back there trying to catch punts with a jacked-up shoulder.
Yeah.
Like, what? Oh, man, your equilibrium is all off now. So, yeah, so we'll see what he is. He looks, everybody's talking about he looks bigger, strong. He just looks like now he's a little more durable. I don't think he picked up a whole bunch of weight or anything like that. All I'm worried about is, can you run routes? Are you flexible? How can you take the pounding? When you're a shorter, smaller receiver, you got to be built a certain way and understand how to protect yourself. That's really it. And that was a fluke accident. He was on the sideline, and, he felt the ground is what hurt him.
Yep.
It wasn't the actual hit. And then you got to take care of your body. The hand knee, that probably happened after your body got all out of whack. It's got to stay balanced, in balance. So, and he was still a rookie at the same time. So you got to go through some growing pains.
All right, we got to stay in balance here. That's hour number one. We'll balance ourselves into hour number two next. Tony Barnhart, Mr. College Football, set to stop by the table in the middle of the 2 o'clock hour. We got headlines when we come back.
2:30.
Also, man, you just never know who's going to stop by the table here. SEC Media Days, live from downtown Nash Vegas. We'll be back with hour number two next.
School's out, but Tennessee's summer season is definitely in session. So if you haven't taken care of it yet, Coolray can keep you cool with a $69 AC tune-up. And maybe you've already noticed that your AC unit is not acting right. Well, they have trusted, certified technicians on standby ready to find the fix so you don't break a sweat. And this includes no service fee with any repair. And maybe things are past the point of repair for your AC unit. Well, Coolray has a solution for that, too. Going on now, you can save up to $1,250 on brand new Timstar home comfort systems. Plus, they boost the lifetime parts and labor warranty on new Timstar home comfort systems, including $0 in repair costs for the life of your system. And you won't break a sweat or the bank with that kind of built-in warranty. So don't forget, Coolray isn't just there for your HVAC needs. They're protecting your entire home thanks to Coolray electrical team who can help you find the perfect whole home generator just in time for the stormy weather. So schedule your next visit online at Coolray.com. No phone call, no wait, no worries. You pick the date and time that works for you. That's Coolray.com.
It is 2:01. Good afternoon. I'm Lucas Panzica. Free agent wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins is signing with the Tennessee Titans. News first reported by Doug Kayet of A to Z Sports. Ian Rappaport with the contract details. 2 years, $26 million, up to $32 million with incentives. SEC Media Days happening at the Grand Hyatt in Nashville as 104.5 The Zone broadcasts live on location until 6 p.m. The schools represented today, Texas A&M, LSU, and Missouri. The news of the day at SEC Media Days, 2024 will head to Dallas for SEC Media Days a year from now. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once in your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Blaine and Mickey hanging out SEC Media Days. Big contingency in front of the table now. Brian Kelly making the rounds. Jimmy Himes is here. Chris Lowe just walked by.
Chris Lowe.
Like all
How
kinds
low
of
can you go, Chris Lowe?
legendary legends walking by. The SEC and the college football world turning its eyes to Nashville this week as SEC Media Days right down here on Broadway in downtown Nashville. Having a great time. Got to visit with the Coach Eli Drinkwitz of Missouri in the first hour of the program. So make sure to check out the podcast later today, anywhere you consume podcasts. You can check out all your favorite Zone shows there. We're all there. And you can hear all the great guests and segments that everybody's doing here, as we will be here all 4 days of SEC Media Days, of course, starting today. Greg Sankey spoke earlier, talked a lot about NIL, and called on Congress, Blaine, said somebody's got to regulate this thing. I'm calling on Congress to do it. Wouldn't that be something? Get everybody on the same page?
Man.
Get them to regulate NIL?
That's where we're going?
That's what he said.
Oh, my. Oh, man. Do you know
Only Congress can fully address this, he said.
Oh, my. Because every state has different rules, right?
Yes.
Man, it's a hot mess. you know, you're talking about NILs. Man. You got – okay, you think how many of these kids you think once they start getting this money, well, some of them already gotten it, you owe half of your money in taxes. Lucas said I would never be paying taxes. Yeah, they were like, taxes? Who is that? Uncle Sam? Uncle Sam? I don't know him. Who is he? Your uncle.
Hey, I was.
Dudes are not going to be. I mean, they need to get financial literacy. They need to hire a whole new department to help these guys understand it. I mean, because I think they'll just spend it all. Got to remember now, most of these guys don't have that kind of money, man. They just think, I mean, imagine, man, come on, 18 to 22, you give me $500 million, man, you got to be kidding me.
If I had $500, I wouldn't have known what to do with myself.
Oh, man, I was surviving off of $50 for a month, man. What you talking about? Once I had my gas paid for, I was good to go.
The Renault Alliance was gassed up and ready to cruise around Muncie, Indiana.
That's why I had a small car. Didn't take much to fill it up. Nope, make it go for a month.
Corey Curtis of News 2 asked, and we'll get to the D-Hop news, just hitting all the headlines. Corey Curtis asked Greg Sankey, I believe it's the first question about there's going to be a dome stadium right down the road here across the river. Is that thing going to be in the rotation for the football championship?
Ooh,
and Greg Sankey essentially said, and you can hear the full audio. I know that it's out there somewhere because everything's going to be out there. He essentially said, we've got a great agreement with Atlanta. We're focused on Atlanta right now, but this does give us possibilities. So I would think, because I saw Butch Spirit in here, I saw Scott Ramsey. I mean, both
guys.
But the guys who get things done, so you know that they're politicking for that to happen. But he didn't bite on that hook just yet. Said the 8 or 9 conference game discussion will continue. Talked about the elimination of divisions, which starts next year. He said that was in the interest of being fair and balanced. But he said teams are eventually going to have to figure out, do they want to play 1 rivalry game a year or they don't want to play 3 rivalry games a year? Because I think basically he's saying if you want to keep playing 8, you can get 1 rivalry game, and then you're going to go everywhere else, and they're going to come to you. You're willing to play 9, we can play a little more ball with you with your rivalry.
I think the real question to me is how much does the TV networks help you make your decision on 8 or 9?
Well,
that's what should have been asked.
Well, somebody did ask. Is this only because you didn't get more from the TV network?
Because then you set it up for, if we do 9, then they say, well, we didn't pay for it last year. Why would we have to up our ante when we got it for basically free this year. So they had no choice but to go to 8 as much as everybody wanted to go to 9, and I did too. They didn't want to negotiate against themselves.
Nope.
So that was a smart move. So they had nothing, as much as everybody wanted 9, I'm sure the majority wanted 9, but they had to have a conversation like, hey, this is business, and we can't just shoot ourselves in the foot.
They did a fantastic job of preserving
We got to
rivalries.
ask Chris Lowe, man, what's the deal, man?
Chris Lowe stopping by here again, SEC Media Days, where we are. He says this fairly frequently, Greg Sankey, when he's asked, and we'll get to the D-Hop news. He got asked about further expansion.
Oh,
and the reporter used the phrase something along the lines, people are trying to build these super conferences. And he goes, well, we already have a super conference. Yeah. He said, our goal was to get to 16, and we got there. We have our super conference. So there's still all this talk about expansion. And he may have something in his back pocket like he had Texas and Oklahoma where we all just looked at Twitter one day and it said, bing.
Right. Well, he can't give it away right now. So
that dude was
so he's like, no, we're it was just like saying the Atlanta. They already have a contract written out to play it. So, but that doesn't mean it's not going to be here in Tennessee. So he had to say
possibilities. That's right.
Never close the door, but don't open it all the way when you already got something right there in the door.
Then, of course, a little old Titans news. The Titans report on the 25th. When they do that, there will be a guy rocking the number 10 jersey, and it will not be Kearis Jackson, the free agent from Georgia.
Do we know he's going to wear 10?
Wearing it in practice. He's got to wear 10.
He's going to wear 10?
He's got to.
I don't like to make assumptions, I used to assume that Joe Hunk was not going to have a mohawk, and then he does.
I always assumed that Hunk will have the mohawk. Now, I didn't in the beginning, the dulcet tones of one Joe Hunk hanging out here with us. But DeAndre Hopkins, the reports, 2 years, $26 million with a bunch of incentives, $3 million available incentives each year. This is from Rap Sheet on Sunday. If he reaches 95 catches, 1,050 yards, and 10 touchdowns, he gets all of the incentives for both years. And as you and I talked about earlier, more than anything, this makes everybody in the right slot for really where they should be playing. And a lot of this, the discussion with somebody like NWI, where he doesn't have to be a 2.
He can be on in certain occasions.
Yeah.
But if you're depending on him to be that guy every week, now that's a different story. I think when we'll see him in his role as the 3, though, watch how much he blooms and grows. You'll say, oh, man, maybe he could be a – right, because then there's no pressure on him. There's none, and then he doesn't have to compete against the number 1 corners, too, right?
Also allows him to play special teams some, which he's, by all accounts, a good. And
so who does this hurt on the team in that wide receiver group whose job may be in jeopardy? Maybe we'll have him come in and help Lucas out on the internet.
Racy
McMahon?
Yeah.
But he's fast.
Oh, yeah.
Man,
he's the fast guy.
It has to be him, right? But he's a special teamer, too.
Yeah. But if they say NWI can do his special team stuff, hey, man, it's been a heck of a run, buddy. You can go be fast somewhere else. And like Mason Kinsey, you'll probably be on the practice squad because he's your practice squad version of Phillips.
Well, he also is a returner.
Yeah,
he can. Yeah.
So he's great to have on your practice squad. He knows everybody. Everybody. He's the perfect practice squad player.
Yeah. I'm hoping he gets an opportunity in the game one day, but we shall see. You never know. Because sometimes guys can be on the practice squad 2 or 3 years, and all of a sudden they get a shot, and whoop, there it go. And you be like, man, we should have been playing him. Well, he had to get an opportunity. Had guys in front of him.
We started this discussion a couple times. Every time we do, like somebody shows up and something crazy happens, we were discussing the contract and how do they make it work.
Yeah, how did they meet the salary cap with only $8 million available?
Mike Giannetti.
I don't know math.
Well,
I know 1 + 1 is 3.
Okay, and there's no less real math than salary cap math. It's the greatest fake. I'll say that. NBA money math is the greatest money math in sports. It's insane. Like, the numbers are huge. But for the NFL, the guys who are out there playing, 17 games and running into each other all day, their money is a little tighter. Spot Track published yesterday, he essentially said, I looked into this a few weeks ago. This is kind of what I thought his contract might look like. He's saying a $4 million cap hit this year for Hopkins.
How's that?
His cap hit would be $14 million next year.
Huh?
And then they put the 3 dummy years on the end of his deal. So that eats up $6 million of his cap hit, 2 and 2 and 2.
So, okay, how does it go into effect if it's really a 2-year deal, but it's really a 1-year deal. And then let's say they splice him after this year.
I saw one estimate that if they cut him after 1 year, it would probably amount to like $11 million in dead cap.
Oh.
So they're calling him a $2 million. This is an estimate from Mike Giannetti. I haven't seen anybody say this is the actual contract.
Right.
Base salary of $2 million, and then his signing bonus was 10, and he's got 15 guaranteed at salary, which means like probably a $1 million roster bonus or something. But I've seen multiple people estimate, because you spread the cap hit obviously over the length of the contract and you put the dummy years on the end. I've seen more than one person say they expect his cap hit to be around $4 million for this year.
So he gets $15 million this year?
That's what Giannetti thinks his guarantee is.
Right. I mean, he's guestimating. Yeah,
between his signing bonus and his salary for this year.
Right. He makes $15 million. Oh, okay. So he's right around where Julio was then.
Yeah.
And OBJ, because I think that was really the crux of all of this from D-Hop. Hey, man, I got to get – he tore his ACL. He hadn't even played in a year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Different style of players, same position. I would say OBJ is kind of more of explosive type player, more electric, where, D-Hop is methodical.
Mm-hmm.
Just over and over. You're like, dang, we can't stop him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So good for the Titans, though. Got him in the cap, got him in the camp, and, man, it's going to be something to see.
And this, if they chose to do it, this would give him a little time to do the thing where he gets with Tannehill or the other guys and throws. If they're doing that at this point, or had the inclination to go do it, they can go work on timing right now. They can do that ahead of camp if they so choose. But DeAndre Hopkins and the Titans get it done just on a July Sunday afternoon. We'd been wondering what might happen, and they made it happen again in plenty of time to get him in for camp. Second segment of the second hour coming up next. Tony Barnhart making the rounds, Mr. College Football. Let's get his thoughts on what he is seeing these SEC media days. And, yeah, he should be joining us right around 2:30. So Tony Barnhart will join us next. We'll get his thoughts as we look around the SEC, as we look around Media Row here live from SEC Media Days in Nashville. It's Blaine and Mickey. There's a big difference when you get in your car and it's been sitting in the driveway in the sunshine, or it's been sitting in your cool garage. Well, maybe you're like a lot of people, and your car hasn't seen the inside of the garage in a long, long time, maybe years. Well, that's where Hello Garage comes in. Hello Garage is, first of all, the best flooring solution for garages. You can also put it in your basement, your business, anywhere you want your flooring to look great and to last. And last, they can do that, the cool garage flooring systems. They can also do storage systems to help you get all that stuff off the floor of your garage, and all those tools with workspaces and your hunting supplies and your kids' sporting goods and toys and all those things. Hello Garage can give you the garage that you've always dreamed of. They have the solutions, the flooring, from top to bottom. You can actually use all the space in your garage. And then guess what you can do with that spot where your car goes? You can put your car there. Call them today, man. Tell them I sent you. Get the garage of your dreams. 1-888-59-GARAGE or online at HelloGarage.com. Schedule a free estimate today with Hello Garage. Blaine and Mickey, 104.5 The Zone. Hour 2 of the Monday show. A lot of times in hour number 1, we do our Ding Dong of the Week segment. We got, about 9 minutes or so before Tony Barnhart joins us. He is not a Ding Dong. He is Mr. College Football, so can't wait to get his take on all that he has seen and heard today as we look forward to the 2023 SEC football season, which is going to be, it's going to be here right around the corner. As Greg Sankey pointed out, the first game of the season, I guess, will be played Hawaii at Vanderbilt. First SEC game. He said going to be played right down the street. So Tony Barnhart will join us here in just a few moments. But we missed out on Ding Dong of the Week in the first hour. So we'll squeeze in a quick Ding Dong of the Week here. As Lucas says, are those cheese sticks?
Yeah.
Okay.
We can split right there.
The magic just keeps Kirby is just brandishing cheese sticks and cookies.
Man, you were teasing me.
They parked the
snack tray.
tray.
I wanted a dog, man. Since we're doing ding dongs, I wanted a hot dog.
They parked the snack tray in front of our table here, and Don's eating low-carb
somebody
potato
hit the
chips.
camera, messed it all
I feel
up.
sorry for Babs.
Man.
I feel sorry for her. Mark Spain, that's the man who makes Ding Dong of the Week happen. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home and start packing.
Keeps moving. That's hilarious.
Lucas Panzica, you got to throw a headset on here. Give us your Ding Dong of the Week. So,
you got
as is tradition, but he's actually here with us today. So,
all right, I think there's only one answer to this.
Okay, wow.
With all the reporting that Adam Sparks and the Knoxville News Sentinel was doing, uncovering the texts, the emails from exactly what was the Jeremy Pruitt recruiting scandal over the course of 2019, 2020.
It wasn't in the bag of money? No.
Well, that's a part of this. So, that's a good jumping off point. Adam Sparks, exclusive. Jeremy Pruitt told investigators that George Floyd was on his mind when he gave Tennessee player's mom $300 in a Chick-fil-A bag, documents reveal. Exactly how this came to light for Chancellor Donde Plowman and the Tennessee administration, you can't make this stuff up. I mean, I just encourage you because
He might have.
I can't possibly do this all in a 2-minute span. So go Adam Sparks, Mike Wilson, the Knoxville News Sentinel doing so much reporting on this. But an athletics department staff member reported that during a discussion among football staff members in this football office, an undergraduate student worker suggested that Niedermeyer could not afford to take a voluntary COVID-related pay cut because he needed money to pay for nail salon visits for family members of visiting prospective student athletes. An offhand comment by an employee within the athletic department talking about, he can't take a pay cut. He's got to pay for nail salon appointments for these recruits' families. That was the first domino that fell in the Tennessee athletic department, exactly figuring out this is like if you took a bunch of teenagers, you made them head coach and assistant coaches of an SEC football program, and you said, okay, now cheat. And this is what would have happened. The sloppiness, the emails, the texts, all of it that's coming out is the pure definition of what we do every week on Ding Dong of the Week. So go look at Adam Sparks and Mike Wilson's reporting on it.
Yeah, that's really good. Yeah, there was a lot of ding-dongery going on throughout that whole break. That was COVID year, right, 2020?
Yeah, 19 and 20. So all 11 wins are vacated from the 2019-2020 season.
Watch this.
So,
Do the other teams now get a win added to their deal?
We were talking about that. I don't
Nobody
think
gets
so.
a win, but
Nobody
Tennessee
gets
dropped in the overall
Right.
rankings to like number 10 from number 9 or whatever,
Right.
because of those 11 vacancies.
I don't know which win Tennessee fans are going to miss the most from the 2019-20. Wasn't a whole lot of winning happening in those 2 years. So
Win vacancies. Well,
Yes.
that really shows everybody.
One of the most hilarious examples of cheating in SEC history.
Oh, my.
And all for $60,000 worth of benefits. Like,
And 11 wins.
There's a backup
in 2
offensive
years.
lineman somewhere making that in NIL money, at LSU right now, or Texas A&M. $60,000 landed them an $8 million fine.
Cannot make this stuff up.
That's my ding dong, is that all of this amounted to what? $60,000. $60,000. $8 million fine.
Well, maybe that's all they got caught with, but I'm
Maybe
sure it was
so.
more.
But if you
it
ask
is
Philip
ding-dongery.
Fulmer, one positive from the Pruitt era,
What?
recruiting was good.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they had to pay for them. But I guess my ding-dong is more on the personal level, and that is I was a little disappointed Beyonce didn't play some of her old songs at the concert.
That's just sad.
I was a little disappointed Beyonce, so, Tony Barnhart has nothing on Beyonce. Oh, no, she has nothing on you, right? Mr. College Football here. So, yeah, that was my ding-dong of the week. I wanted to hear a little bit more of shaking it down at the Beyonce concert on Saturday.
We will switch gears.
Now we're with the legend.
That's right. We will switch.
The legend, man. How you doing, man?
We're live on the air.
Thank you. I am better than I deserve. I can promise you that right now.
Is this Tony Barnhart, our guest, the great Tony Barnhart? So let's just start with this.
College football, man.
Mr. College Football.
Well, let's start with there. Who started that? I know that was years ago, but kind of take us through a history lesson. I'm sorry, Mickey.
I can take absolutely no credit for the Mr. College Football thing. Back when I was at the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, and they were building their website.
Oh, listen to those pipes.
And they came to me and said, "Listen, we're building our website, and we want you to do a blog for the website." I said, "Great. What's a blog?" And they said, and they told me what it was. I said, "Well, let me get this straight. So you want me to write something to get people arguing amongst themselves?" And they said, "Yeah, that's it. That's exactly. So I can do that." But he said, "But we're going to give it a name, and we're going to call it Mr. College Football."
Wow.
And I said, "Oh man, that sounds kind of cheesy to me." And they said, "Well, it is cheesy, but cheesy works on the internet." And I said, "Who am I to argue?" So that's how it happened. And when I left the AJC, I have a daughter who's a lawyer, and I said, "Can I take this with me?"
Oh.
Yeah.
And she said, "Has anybody else ever been Mr. College Football?" I said, "No." I said, "Then you get to take it with you."
Wow.
And that's how it lived. But I can take no credit for the name.
Oh, man.
That's
It's
fantastic,
carried on for
though.
a long time now.
So, Tony,
That's pretty awesome, Tony.
Tony Barnhart, Mr. College Football. Now you know the story, our guest. People always talk about what's the official start of college football. Do you count this as that?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
This is when there are really two dates. One is we have a July 4th parade in my neighborhood, and it's a lot of fun. But my wife knows that summer's pretty much over.
Okay.
But when I come here to do this event, summer's really over, and college football season is starting. So, yeah, this is the start.
Greg Sankey spoke his opening salvo, as he always does. What stood out from him that he said? I know he called on Congress for NIL regulations, but what maybe besides that stood out?
Well, I think that was significant.
Okay.
He was unequivocal about that, okay, because a lot of time college athletics officials were kind of, well, I think we need to kind of get the government. No. He's made it very clear. And I thought he made a compelling case. I don't want the government involved in college athletics. But the thing that's worse than that is if you've got 38 states with 38 different sets of rules on what you can do NIL. So you got state legislatures that are saying, "Hey, coach, tell me what you need, and we'll write it into the law." I don't think that's really a good idea. And so I think he's right, and it's really congressional involvement, as much as I don't want it, is the only answer that I can see, because anything else you would try to do is going to get you an antitrust law problem. So he was I thought Commissioner Sankey was good today.
Tony Barnhart, our guest, Mr. College Football, hanging out here on Media Row.
Well, Tony, in the SEC, which coach, with all the pressure in the SEC, is under the most pressure this upcoming season? Man, I know that's a tough one, man, because you could kind of look at every school and say that, but, man, who's number 1 and 2? I give you 1A and 1B.
Well, you can make the case that Nick Saban's under tremendous pressure because look at Nick Saban got to Alabama in 2007. In whatever it is, 16 years he's been there. He has never gone 3 years without winning a national championship.
Wow.
If he doesn't win the national championship this year, that will be the first time that's happened. And I think after what happened to them last year, I think he's under a tremendous – and nobody handles it better than he does. Yeah. So I think that's interesting. I think Billy Napier, for his second year, he's not – it depends on how you define it. He's not going to get fired. But this is the quality of life year, and he needs to figure out some. He needs to figure out some things.
Well, who do you have winning the SEC? Can Georgia three-peat without knowing their starting quarterback?
Georgia's pretty good. They are.
What, three-peat?
I've watched them. They're pretty good.
Wait, who was the last team to three-peat? I know you know. I don't know.
1936, the University of Minnesota Golden Gophers won some obscure national champ. So I don't count it. What I tell people is it's never been done.
Okay.
In the modern era, it's never been done. And there's a reason. It's hard to do. It's really hard to do. So can Georgia do it? They absolutely have the talent to do it. Does the pressure and guys get complacent, all the non factors like that. But I'm sitting here looking at Georgia's schedule the other day, and I'm saying, who's going to beat them? Who's going to beat them? So we'll got to go to Tennessee on November 18th. That's a big game.
Well, let's talk about Tennessee and Josh Heupel and how he's doing, and can he continue this run and building the Tennessee back to respectability.
Well, tell me how the quarterback Joe Milton's going to play, because he's the key. And with Josh Heupel, it's always going to be about the quarterback. And Hendon Hooker was magnificent last year. Joe Milton has a cannon for an arm. He can throw it 100 yards. But you know what? You don't throw very many 100-yard passes in college football. And so he's got to show that he can make all the throws that Josh Heupel needs for him to make. And we will see. Or they've got a very talented freshman they're very excited about. But it's really going to be up to Joe Milton and how he plays.
We're on with Tony Barnhart, Mr. College Football.
Tony, if Georgia is who they are, and they certainly seem to be the cream of the crop in the conference right now, who's the second best team in your opinion?
Well, logically, it should be LSU.
Right.
Proven quarterback in Jaden Daniels. A lot of talent. LSU always has players. So really, if you were looking at it intelligently and logically, LSU should win the West. My problem is I've never done anything very intelligent or very logical.
And my wife
which is why I'm picking Alabama to win the West.
Oh.
Nick Saban has his team in full-blown revenge mode right now. And now we'll see when they play Texas on September 9th in Tuscaloosa. But if you were going on sheer talent, you'd pick LSU to win. But there's sometimes talent is not the most important thing.
Well, let's go back to Brian Kelly. Just you brought up LSU.
Yeah.
How surprised were you of his first season? Not at all, huh?
I was not surprised at all. I told a lot of people before the game, I said, I'm telling you, this guy's a good football coach.
Oh, no question.
Look at it. He's won every place he's ever been. He's the all-time leading winner at the University of Notre Dame. Okay?
Wow.
So I was not surprised at all, and they're going to be really, really good again this year. But they got to play Alabama and Tuscaloosa. That means something.
Tony Barnhart, our guest. Hugh Freeze, obviously getting his first chance with the Auburn team. We talked a lot about Alabama, so let's look across the state at Auburn. Expectations for him in year one.
Yeah, I am befuddled. I just don't know about Auburn. Now, Hugh Freeze, his track record is that once he gets the quarterback figured out, then they tend to play reasonably well.
Sure.
And so he's got to decide. All I know is it's never a good sign when you bring in a quarterback after spring practice.
Right.
And so the question is the transfer, are they going to help him? Is it going to be Robbie Ashford? I don't know. But it's until he gets the quarterback situation figured out, they're going to struggle.
Mr. College Football here, Tony Barnhart at SEC Media Days.
I know it's way early, but who is your going into the season Heisman Trophy candidate?
Wow.
Off the cuff. Yeah. Or you can give me two. I'll make it easy for you.
You'd have to give me a list. I'm not good at picking names out of the air.
Well, you think of teams, I guess, and then I can kind of go down the list there. But maybe.
Well, obviously Caleb Williams at USC
is
is the guy that you would have to look at. The SEC. I tell you, here's a long shot pick that is who's not going to win it. But I'm telling you, Harold Perkins, the edge rusher from LSU, is one of the best football players in the country. He is incredible. So next time you get a chance to watch LSU, watch him. He's something special.
So why do you think the SEC is only playing 8 games? It was a more contractual deal and not necessarily because teams wanted to play 8 again. It was more they didn't want to shoot themselves in the foot, I guess.
Well, no, the reason they went to 8 games, there were a couple of things involved. Number one, if you looked at their schedule in 2024, the games they've already got scheduled, they have got a ton of Power 5. LSU in 2024 is playing both USC and UCLA. And they didn't want to reschedule all of those great non-conference games. Now, they also wanted to hold back and go to the negotiating table with ESPN and said, so you want us to add a 9th conference game? we can do that, but you need to stick 2 more zeros on the end of that check right there. And so that I think that's the reason. I still think they'll go to 9 games.
I do too.
Okay? But they said, we don't need to go to 9 games. And, oh, by the way, with 13 national championships since 06, 8's kind of worked for them. So
You have your also bold prediction on your Final Four teams. I know it's early because I'm interested to see where A&M pans out in this too with Jimbo Fisher and new OC.
Yeah, Texas A&M is going to be a smashing success or an unmitigated disaster. I don't know which it's going to be. Bobby Petrino knows how to call plays. He knows how to coach quarterbacks, which is what they need. But I don't know. My Final Four right now is if I can. I went to Georgia. I'm not real good at math, but
yeah, me too.
Georgia's there. I think Alabama's going to be there. I think Clemson is going to be there, and I think Ohio State / Michigan are going to be there. So I think Georgia and Alabama both get there. I think they meet undefeated in the SEC championship game and both go.
We're in with Tony Barnhart, Mr. College Football.
My goodness.
Great one.
All right, I know you're about to have to take off. One really quick question about expansion, and then I know you're promoting a couple things. Let's hit those before you go. Greg Sankey asked essentially about that today. He said he was asking about super conferences. He says, we have a super conference. We have 16 teams.
Yep.
What's everybody else going to do?
The Pac-12 television contract is way past time to be revealed. If the numbers on the Pac-12 contract are horrible, the Big 12 has let it be known they've got some room for a couple of 2 or 3 or 4 teams. And now all of a sudden the Pac-12 falls apart and gets scattered to the wind, and now all of a sudden you're down to 4 super conferences. So Pac-12 television contract holds all the cards.
My goodness.
Watch that. So,
Well, tell us what you got going. Again, Mr. College Football, Tony Barnhart, our guest.
Well, we are thrilled to be here to represent the Dodd Trophy presented by PNC. The Dodd Trophy, guys, is different than other Coach of the Year awards in that it deals with academics, scholarship, leadership, integrity were the 3 pillars that Coach Dodd believed in. And it's a special award in that when we present it, we go to the campus to present it to the coach there, a celebration there. Willie Fritz was our winner. We went to Tulane, presented him with the award, and when we got there, Coach Fritz's his football team was there to greet us.
Wow.
And that was a big deal. So we're very happy to have academics is incredibly important. You have to have a 980 APR just to qualify for the watch list. And so scholarship, leadership, integrity, and very proud to have my name associated with the award.
Yes, sir. Now, Blaine's got this picture. Where do people need to get this book?
Well, fall of 1970, I played on the first integrated football team. It was a Remember the Titans moment. In the history of my high school, we had 19 guys on the team. The black school and the white school merged. We had 19, 12 white, 7 black, and we fielded together a team that played for a division championship. But the neat thing was I was able to track down all the guys. There are 15 of us still alive.
Wow.
I was able to track down all the guys and interview them all. I interviewed families and coaches and all that. And there were a lot of guys there that I had not spoken to in over 50 years.
Wow.
And there are a lot of guys here I've been friends with for 52 years, and it was just an absolute labor of love to do it. The book is being published by University of Georgia Press. It's out mid-October. But if anybody likes it, they can go on to Google and Barnes & Noble. And the 19 of green, you can, as they say, you can pre-order it if you want to.
From the man who said, what's a blog? You got people pre-ordering books, man. Good stuff. The great Tony Barnhart, our guest, at Mr. CFB on Twitter. You need to be following him. Get the book. Check out the Dodd Trophy as well. Thank you, sir.
Okay,
Great
guys.
to have you.
A lot
Yes,
of fun.
sir.
You bet. Good to see you.
We'll be back to finish up this show next live from SEC Media Days.
Thank you, Dan.
Blaine and Mickey, 104.5 The Zone. Chat with Dan Wetzel. We'll catch up with him later in the week.
Yeah.
He is organizing a get-together, he said, in downtown Nashville.
Yeah, y'all want to go meet him? Nope. You just try to be nice. I'm going to tell everybody to go meet Dan Wetzel at Tootsie's at 7 o'clock.
No, listen to you. He's got to get crushed.
That's where he's going to be. Check it out.
Okay. You said, I know you probably got stuff we haven't gotten to today. And yes, Monday is Ding Dong of the Week Day. Lucas Panzica is here.
He had the best ding dong.
His ding dong was it was incredibly long too. It took a long time for you to tell the whole story about your ding dong today.
It's incredibly long.
Ding Dong of the Week. How about this though? We didn't even talk about this because we were pressed for time. So we had literally the Mr. College Football who was coming to talk to us.
Man.
ESPN's list of running backs, and Derrick Henry was number 5. This dropped a couple of days ago. You guys probably talked about it because I think it happened on Friday. A list of running backs.
I was out.
Derrick Henry, number 5 on any list of running backs, is a bleeping bleep.
Who are the people at 1 through 4? And watch this. I don't know the answers to this, but here's what I'm going to say, and I keep saying this to you guys.
I know.
He is the best runner of running backs, but when they say complete back, that's what running back means. He is not at the top. He's not a complete. Is he a good a pass blocker? Is he a good downfield receiver? So when we're saying this is he's not the best running back. He's the best runner of running backs, but he is not the best complete back. And everybody can say, well, he catch passes, screen passes, those things are easy, flare passes. But I'm talking about in that. Why is he not on the field in third down? I don't think Mike Vrabel became a great coach and coach of the year because he thought the King should be on the sidelines in third down. See, because great running backs who are totality and good at everything they do, they never come off the football field. See, and that's why he's – but guess what it tells you? He is so dominant at running, he is still in the top 5.
Well, 4 is Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
3 is Josh Jacobs.
That
was a little iffy to me.
I mean, I like him a lot, but he just had a good year last year. I don't. That one I ain't like.
2 is who I thought should be 1 is Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
I mean,
he just got to stay healthy, and he did last year with the 49ers.
Because of what he can do, catch and receive. He should have won the Heisman Trophy. He got job. Number 1 is Nick Chubb.
I don't know about that.
Nick Chubb.
To me. Now, Henry's better than Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb is his game is somewhat like Henry's. He's just not as good as a runner to me. He can catch, but they don't utilize him down the field that way, but he can catch the ball. I mean, I'm not saying Derrick Henry cannot catch, because he can. But I'm talking about running routes and impacting game that way. So he's standing on the sideline, and it perturbs me that he's standing on the sideline because I don't know why. Even if he's out there and they're not throwing him the ball or anything, he still
gets all the attention.
Right. So to me, he should be out there. So then you say, okay, well, is he not out there because he's not good at pass protection? He may be okay, but maybe he should be better.
What's crazy is he was, second in the NFL last year with over 1,500 rushing yards behind everyone knows what was not a good offensive line.
But how many carries did he have to get to 1,500 yards?
Like 349, I believe was the number.
Big.
But
that's a lot.
He was number 1 last year. He dropped from 1 to 5 after being second in the league in rushing. That's what's interesting to me is he was the same guy last year, and he got picked number 1. And this year, all these guys got put ahead of him. That, to me, was the interesting part of the vote. Because he polled all these different people. These rankings came from a broad brush of different people who voted. So it never surprises me when McCaffrey's ahead of him because he always gets picked ahead because of how versatile he is. But Chubb is number 1, like you said, with how the Browns use him. Josh Jacobs of the Raiders, who's a really good player. He's fun to watch. But there may be weeks where you don't even hear about him or really think about him. And I don't know how many teams play the Raiders and think, oh, my gosh, if we don't stop, that's the only way we can win this game.
Now, last year he was, but before that, I mean, he was a really good player. But last year he took it off the charts, and I think it's because his contract was up. But Shaquan we saw him live.
Yep.
We saw him live. Now, he is the real deal. As long as he stays healthy, he impacts the game in all facets.
They had nothing for him in game 1 last year. Although, if those ding-dongs can hit a short field goal, they win that game.
Oh, still win.
And then they make the playoffs if they make that one field goal.
So he's always going to be in the top 5. Where he lands up for me is no big deal. I'm not going to sit here and debate if somebody's 1 or 2. You top 5, man. Just think, it's the National Football League. There was times he was number 1. So, yeah.
This is what they said. The 2-time rushing champion fell 4 spots, narrowly making the top 5. The issue with Henry is his age, 29, and tread.
That should not factor in.
I don't think so either.
It doesn't matter.
Entering his 8th NFL season, he has led the league in carries in 3 of the past 4 years, including 349. I actually remember that. Look at that. That's a lot to ask of a back, even a 247-pound Ironman such as Henry, but he's still really good. His 888 rushing yards after contact last season were the second most by a player in a season since ESPN began tracking that stat in 2009. Only AP got him with his 2012 season, which he was MVP that year, I think. He was MVP as a running back.
And by the way, let's not talk about this horrendous offensive line he had behind guys that probably shouldn't be on the field. And still did that.
He still did that. He was second in the league in rushing.
Theoretically, he should be still up there at 1 or 2. I'm serious now. Just because he is the best runner of running backs and doing it with really nothing. I mean, that line last year, man, I would pray make sure he didn't get hurt. I mean, seriously. I mean, sometimes he was getting hit in the backfield as soon as he got the ball. I'm like, man, dude, y'all got a block. Get in the way. Did they just run you over?
Well, and you had Tannehill. If it was 3rd down and anything past about 3 yards, by the time he got into his second step of his drop, he was getting hit.
See, here's how I look at it. It might have been one of Derrick Henry's better years because of what he was running behind.
Yeah.
See, so and age doesn't matter if he's still producing numbers, so it should never be part of the equation.
I agree.
Yeah. So that I didn't like any of that.
Well, I hope you like the show because it's over. It's time for us to go.
I love this show.
We got to get out of here, man. It's time for 3HL.
Only because Kirby's on here with us.
100%.
We get to hang out with Kirby.
All week long we'll be hanging out with Kirby. 3HL coming up next. They got you covered. Live from SEC Media Days. You know they'll have great guests as well, but we got to get out of here.
But in the meantime.
In between time, peace.